It's Bourbon Blog Live, and good afternoon. I'm speaking with my good friend Isaac Fox. He is a bartender, owner, and manager there at La Chasse, one of our favorite places in Louisville. And how's everything going there for you and your team at La Chasse, Isaac?
Going well, Tom. Thanks for having me on this. Hope you're doing well also.
Yes, we are, and we're glad to hear we're getting closer to that time when you all will be opening. And give us an idea of what has transpired so far. You all have been doing some food to go, and you're looking forward to an open date soon.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the lockdown, we shifted over to carry out and delivery food only, which, a lot of restaurants did. I know some chose to remain closed during this time. I feel very grateful that we were able to do the carry out and delivery food, and we've seen quite a bit of support for that. That's been really good. We are reopening for dine-in business with certain limitations, of course, on the weekend of June 18th, reopening that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Excellent. And a lot of restaurants opening back up. What kind of guidelines has the state of Kentucky given not only you but other restaurants? And what do you think of those guidelines? How's it going to be helpful?
Yeah, I think that's a really kind of delicate and challenging point right now. Everybody has got a lot of feelings about everything that's going on. There's a lot of concern about risk factors. And for me, while obviously I have concerns about business, I want to see people back in. I want to see sales increase. I've got to take the health safety of my staff and guests first and foremost. So I think a lot of the guidelines were really good for safety. Some of them also, of course, certainly pose challenges for reopening. There's a lot that we've got to plan for and prepare to do this correctly.
Right. So several in Louisville opening back up this week. You all, again, that date is June 18th. Is that right?
Yeah.
The date that you're opening back up is right around there. And so what was that like, transitioning from, you all typically wouldn't do much to-go food, actually figuring out how all that would work? What was that process like, and what did you learn from it the last month and a half or so?
Tom, give me 1 second here. Breaking up just a little bit on my end. Let me check my internet connection here.
Sure, that's fine. Take your time. We can actually, what I'll do is, are you able to hear me?
I can hear you, but it's kind of it's pixelating a little bit on the sound.
Okay. I can re-add Isaac to the stream in just a moment, and we're so glad to have Isaac Fox from La Chasse on with us right now. If you have any questions for Isaac, we'll bring him back in here in just a moment. Do ask them down below on YouTube, on Twitter, tweet back, and on Facebook, ask them down below. And La Chasse is just a fabulous place. Great cocktails, great wine, very French theme. It's one of the most unique places in Louisville. And as many of you know that are from Louisville, but if you haven't been to Louisville for a while, or maybe you've never been, it's just really a culinary capital of the South. There's so much that's going on, and much thanks to bourbon tourism and so much interest people have in coming back to Kentucky and to see the restaurants scene that has exploded there since we've been doing Bourbon Blog the last 15 years. There's always been great restaurants, but I'm sure those of you that live there and that have been there would agree they've just gotten better and better. So again, we'll bring back Isaac Fox in just a moment. Tonight, live at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will have on Chef Joshua Moore from Volare. So two of my favorite places. And of course, there's several favorite places I have in Louisville, and there's always new ones. But glad to speak with a couple of my favorite people in the restaurant business. And again, that will be tonight, bourbonblog.com, live at 8 p.m. I am beginning my day with a little cocktail. I was trying some of Eamon Rocky's milk punch. It's called Rocky's Milk Punch that we're going to be featuring. We're going to have my good friend Rocky on tomorrow night, Thursday night, from Brooklyn to talk about his milk punch liqueur, and it's pretty incredible. I put it with some bourbon because you can add it to anything. So I think we have Isaac just back with us now. We'll see can you hear us a little better now, Isaac?
Yeah, I hot-spotted on my end. I apologize for the...
No worries at all.
Myself and technology don't always get along too well. So what was the last question you were asking?
No, just glad to have you. So really what we're looking at is as you were coming back from the last month and a half, what was that like? What did you learn from doing that to-go service food that you typically wouldn't do to go? What was that learning process like? And how do you relate to other restaurant owners that are similar restaurants? What have you learned?
Well, as far as relating to them, I feel for them, because I can tell you this has been really challenging, and not just in the bottom line. When you see sales go down, obviously that's kind of everybody's first concern in business during a pandemic.
Right.
But I think I learned a lot. There's a lot of challenges. For us as a fine dining restaurant, one of the first things we had to do is realize the reason that fine dining restaurants seldom do carry out delivery food is because the delicacy of those dishes doesn't travel well, right? So the first thing, we had to adapt quickly. First of all, changing our hours, changing how we handled everything, going to a different service. And then secondly, changing the menu to create items that were more approachable, more affordable during this time, and also that would travel better to go. Also, how you handle the carry out and delivery service, creating online ordering links, stuff like that. So a lot of challenges there. I think two of the biggest things that I've learned, one from a business perspective, was how to run really lean, which can be good. You kind of have to learn to run in a financially tighter environment. But also, it was something really positive that came out of this to me, was to learn how caring people are and how much really genuine goodness there is. I've just been overwhelmed with the support. A great example, just real quickly, is we made a choice early on not to use any third-party delivery services. We're not using like DoorDash or Grubhub. I use my servers and bartenders for that, so that I didn't have to lay any of my staff off.
That's great.
And my guests know that, and I have regulars call in and place carry-out orders that would typically tip very fairly, tip 20%. And I'm seeing some of them just putting outrageous tips on there to help support the staff. Right. And that's just been really overwhelming to see that generosity right now.
That's wonderful that you were able to keep them, your team, doing that, not lay off anyone, and continue to allow them to be the delivery people. I think that's a great model that you followed. And as you look towards June 18th was the date you said?
June 18th, yes.
June 18th. What do you predict? I mean, with the 33% capacity, how is it going to look for what you do? How is it going to change what you do? And what do you think it'll be like as it moves forward?
Tough to predict. I mean, of course, none of us have a crystal ball right now, but I can certainly predict that there are changes, not only for us, but for the restaurant industry in general, that are going to go on for a long time. Right. Not only does the 33% limit what we can seat, but I still think a lot of guests are going to feel uncomfortable about going out into public places. So carry out and delivery service are going to continue side by side. And I think you're going to see that for a lot of restaurants. I think also economically, because this, as far as the entire country goes, poses economic challenges, we may start seeing, a need for a little more comfort food, bring the prices down a little bit. I think there's going to be a lot of trends, and some of them we probably can't even guess at just yet. Right. I think one of those very specific trends is you're going to see restaurants that are opening with that capacity going to seatings instead of reservations at any time. Because you have to be able to have X number of people in your restaurant, get them out, sanitize, redo the restaurant, set up the next round of tables. So we're not going to be taking out, you want 6 o'clock, you want 6:15, you want 6:30. We're going to have to start shifting to seatings. And I think a lot of these changes are probably going to stay in place for months, probably for most of the rest of this year, really.
Right. Yeah. So a lot of these changes probably will be there for a while. It's at some point, hopefully we'll get back to some version of what normal felt like, but obviously it'll be great to be back there at Chasse and having some of the best cuisine in Louisville, and you guys do such a great job, with your food, your wine, your cocktails, and great cuisine is so important to those that visit Louisville and to Louisvillians that are there quite a bit. People are going to be looking forward to being there, and for people that are maybe a little concerned about should I go out, and whether they're in Louisville or elsewhere, should I go out and dine? I'm a little concerned. What would you say to them? What would be the what are you all trying your best to do there? How can you maybe help them feel, those people, more comfortable?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's also a tough one, because I think on my end, I can't, advise people whether they should go out or not and take that risk. But I think that, of course, it's very important to look into the restaurants you go to dine at and see what precautions they're taking.
Right.
I certainly personally want my guests to feel very, very safe. And some of that is to be very, very upfront and public about the precautions that you're taking. We've been open for, I think, almost 5 years now. We've run 94 to 100 in our health score. So obviously we always care about cleanliness, right? We've always done well there. But a lot of that is invisible to the guests. So, now I think when people see you're sanitizing the doorknobs between every guest that comes in, things like that, I think that will certainly induce a level of comfort. And I think it's very important for all of us in the industry to keep doing those things and show the guests that we do care. We're doing everything to keep them safe during this time.
Right.
And I hope, personally, I hope that people will feel that comfort level and want to resume dining out. It's tough to miss out on the camaraderie of going and hanging out at your favorite bar or having dinner out with somebody.
Yeah, it really is. And I'm glad that you said that, Isaac, that so many of the steps that you've taken and so many other restaurants have taken have always been there. But now we, as consumers and everyone, is feeling more aware and just wanting that knowledge. So I think that's a very good point. What are you and your team, what are you most looking forward to when you open those doors back up?
We're looking forward to a number of things. When all of this happened, this was a huge challenge, of course. And the reasons behind it, the pandemic, that's terrible.
Right.
But I think some things for us personally have come out of this that are opportunities.
Right.
When you've run a restaurant for 4 to 5 years, you get into a routine. It's a good one. But it's very difficult to change horses in the middle of the stream, so to speak, if you want to try a new idea. Well, that closure for a while gives us the opportunity to reopen a little differently. So for me, I'm viewing this not so much as a shutdown and then just, desperately hoping for that time we get to be back open. I'm kind of viewing this as opening my own restaurant for the first time again, right? As a fresh start. So we are definitely going to be adapting some things that we've been wanting to try. We're probably going to be putting on options of chefs' tasting menus, pairings. There's a lot of different things. When you're running at limited capacity, you have more opportunity to spend the time to craft personalized experiences for people.
Wow.
If you put me behind the bar on a Saturday night, we got 100 guests in here, it's everything I can do to sling the drinks out. But if I have 20 people and you say, hey, I'm going to do 5 courses tonight, will you create on the fly and pair a cocktail with each course? Then I can do that. So we're looking at creating a lot more of these special experiences for people. And I'm frankly kind of excited about it.
That's good. I mean, I like how you're looking at the positives and the pros to what you'll be able to look forward to. And for those that have been there, and if you haven't, Isaac is incredible bartender, and his team makes some great cocktails there. And so I think that would be a really good idea. Cocktail with every course. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm always on board for that.
Well, me too. And Tom, I don't know if you've been following. So when I opened La Chasse, I opened it with Alex Delaney, the chef who'd been formerly from Low Relay. We'd met, become friends, opened the place together, and then we'd gone through a couple of chef changes. Well, Alex is back now.
Oh, cool.
So again, that kind of feels like that restart. And he decided to rejoin our team about a month before the pandemic happened. So a little unfortunate there that his first day back was to start doing carry-out food. I'd hoped to have like a big wine dinner to welcome him back and everything. But so again, it does definitely have that sense of sort of starting over. And he's got so many great ideas. We're looking to go a little smaller with the menu, go even fresher, more farm to table. He and I are both doing some serious organic farming, gardening this year on a large scale. So I think you're going to see a lot of our own produce coming in, and that'll be really exciting as well.
That is incredible. So congratulations on that.
Thanks.
On having him back, and it sounds like it will feel like a fresh start in many ways for you, and we wish you and your team the best there. And again, it's La Chasse reopening in Louisville, Kentucky, June 8th. Other restaurants, just bit by bit, we'll probably see in Louisville opening up. And now they're able to use, some of these restaurants will be using their, I hear their parking lots as extra space. Is that what I've heard?
Yes. With the difficulties entailed here, I've been really grateful for some of the laws that have been changed here in Kentucky and in Louisville particularly. Obviously, right off the bat, when we closed the doors, about a week after that, we were allowed to start doing carry-out bottles of wine, and that helps when you're sitting on inventory. And then a week after that, we were able to do carry-out cocktails. So the ABC allowed that ruling to be changed. Really grateful for the fact that we've been able to do that. And then, of course, most recently, with the limited reopening, the mayor has allowed a lot of freedom with outdoor seating now, outdoor seating tents and stuff, without having to go through all the kind of typical red tape for, the zoning and everything with that. So that is helping restaurants that are running at limited capacity expand their seating and make the money they need to, obviously weather dependent. But I've been very grateful that there have been attempts to help the restaurant industry out here in Kentucky by changing some of those laws.
Well, that's so important. Do you see that or foresee that the cocktails to go, the wine to go, those will stay on the books? Do you think they will?
I know food to go will, and I'm assuming it will, because if people are ordering food to go and they're wanting to do their party at home, then I suspect they're going to keep ordering cocktails to go as well. So I'm going to keep that option open for at least some months. Good. Well, I hope that I hope that ABC, the leaders, will keep that open. And definitely, I think it definitely will help restaurants long term, and it's very exciting. Well, Isaac, thank you. I know you guys are going to start some food service here in a little while. It starts at, was it 4 o'clock? It starts at 4 o'clock. We open the phones for our delivery orders. Yeah. So we'll be excited to hear how it goes for you in June, and we'll try to come see you very soon in person. And wish you and your team there at Chasse and all of our Louisville friends who are watching and friends who are watching around the world the best. Stay well, and hopefully we'll see you for a cocktail and some food real soon, Isaac. Awesome. Thanks for having me, Tom. Good to talk to you. Thank you, buddy. Thank you so much.